So welcome to the unit 3, that is gate level minimization in combinational circuits. In the gate level minimization, we have seen POS expression or SOP expression that we have solved with Karnaugh map as well as Queen-Mesclay tabulation method, right? And we have also seen what are the universal gates and basic gates in the previous class, and this is session 5. Now we are going to the second part of the unit 3, that is combinational logic or combinational circuits, right? So here you can see in this diagram, so this is a combinational logic circuit where you can have n number of input variables, and that is given to a combinational logic circuit, and that will provide m number of output variables. So this particular combinational logic circuit, which we call it as the gates that are there in that particular logic circuits, doesn't have any feedback or any memory to store some kind of data in it. So these are the parameters for the combinational logic circuits where there is no kind of a memory element that can store the data, or it can take as a feedback. Okay, the self feedback mechanism is not available in combinational logic circuit. So this particular combinational circuit will have input variables and output variables, and inside you will have some gates. And now this particular combinational logic circuit is broadly classified as arithmetic, logical functions, data transmission, and code converters, in which today we are going to see adders and subtractors. Okay, so under arithmetic and logic functions, we see adders, subtractors, comparators, and PLDs, and then under data transmission we see multiplexers, demultiplexers, encoders, decoders, and then under code converters binary, BCD, which is binary coded decimal, and 7 segments. So in which only few are there in our syllabus. So we will see the adders and subtractors in this arithmetic and logic function. So this is the introduction part of combinational logic or combinational circuits, right? Now we'll go back to the next slide. Combinational circuits. So there are two types, that is combinational circuit as well as sequential circuits for this particular digital systems. And combinational circuits, as I told you, there is no feedback or there is no memory element to store anything. So no storage kind of mechanism is there in combinational circuits. Whereas in sequential circuits, you will expect feedback and with the help of flip-flops that we will see in the later sessions. And now this particular combinational circuits consists of input variables, as you can see that n number of input variables in the diagram, pass diagram, and then logic gates that are embedded in the circuit, and then the output variables that you are going to have. And the most important thing is no storage involved, no feedback path, no memory elements to store. That is the definition for the combinational circuits. Now you can see that all the output variables are all time dependent on the combination of input variables. So what is the combination of the input variables? So it is time dependent process. Okay, the input variables are dependent on output variables. Now the analysis procedure, whenever a particular circuit is given to you, you should be in a position to analyze it. So to obtain the output Boolean function from the logic diagram, these are the steps that you have to follow, and you can see here that label all the gate outputs that are the function of input variables. So input variables will be there, output variables will be there, and the function with the arbitrary symbols. If they are using AND gate, you're representing with AND gate. If they are representing with OR gate, you're going to represent with OR gate. And finally, you're going to get a Boolean function for each gate as an output. Okay, and then label the gates that are function of input variables as and previously labeled gates with other arbitrary symbols. So for example, if there are some levels of gates that are available in the circuit, so each and every level will be interconnected. So that is a thing that you are going to have, an expression. Now you can see an example here. This is the logic diagram for some expression over here. So we are going to see what is that expression. Now you can see here, this is AND, right? AND is represented with a dot, and then OR is represented with plus, which means OR, right? And then here it is AND, and here it is OR, and then this is NOT. So negation or called inverter, and then here you can see and then here you can see OR, and finally you are going to have an expression F1 and F2. This particular statement says that in order to get the F2, see here you can have T3, which is also another function which is given as an input to the gate. So this is how a logic diagram is given, and now we are going to extract the expressions from the logic diagram. Here you can see that F2, how you are going to get F2 is, you can see here F2 is, this is the F2. This is the F2. So how you are going to get F2? Based on the inputs that are given to the AND gate, and that particular inputs from that gate are given to the OR gate, and then you are going to extract F2. That is one function. So for that function you can see that AB, which is dot, which is AND operator, plus, which means OR. So AB plus AC plus BC. So this is how the input variables are given to the gates, and from the gates you are getting the output, and those outputs are considered to be F2. So now you understood how you have extracted F2. And now coming to T1, right? You can see in that particular diagram where is T1. So this is how you are going to extract the Boolean functions from the given logic diagram. Okay. So now you can see T1. So here it is T1. So T1 is a combination of having 3 input variables to the OR gate. That is the reason why it is given A plus B plus C. So you can see here that the 3 input variables are given to the OR gate, and the final expression is T1, which is A plus B plus C, right? And now coming to T2. So these are the Boolean functions you are going to extract, right? So T2, so you can find where the T2 is. Here is the T2. Here is the T2. So what is the input that is given for the generation of the T2? That is the AND gate with 3 input variables, that is A, B, C. That is the reason why T2 is A dot B dot C. So now you have got the function T2, and now what about T3? T3 is, here you can see this particular T3. T3 is a connection of the particular F2, which is, this one is F2, right? So this whole line represents the F2, and this particular F2 is negated. So that is the reason why you have written here negation, right? So this is negation, or you can also represent with a bar, right? So F2 bar followed by T1. So why T1? Because this is the input that you are getting from T1. So here this particular 2 inputs are given to AND gate, and you are getting T3. So that is how you extracted the Boolean function with an expression with the T3. And finally you are going to get F1. F1 is T3 is given as an input, as well as T2 is given as an input. So now you can write F1 as T3 plus T2. So that is how you are going to extract the final Boolean function or the final expression for the particular F1. So now you see F1 is T3 plus T2, and you can represent the T3 and T2 in the following figures, and finally you can extract the expression from F1. Now you can see for this particular circuit, for this particular logic diagram, you are going to construct a truth table. So truth table, right? Truth table. So that particular truth table also has all the input variables. So in this particular logic circuits, you can see A, B, C are the only 3 input variables, and you can see F1 as an output variable, and then F2 as an output variable, and T3 is also as an output variable, and then T1, T2 also can be considered as an output variables, right? So you can see that these are the 3 inputs A, B, C with all possibilities, that is 0 to 2 power n minus 1 representation if n variables are there. This is the formula that generally we use, right? So something like n variables are there, then 2 power n minus 1 possible binary functions are there. So for example 3 inputs are there, so it will be 2 power 3 minus 1. So 0 to, here 0 to 2 power n minus 1. So in the same way 3 input variables, it is 0 to 7. So the representation of the 0 to 7, right? So all the binary representations have been extracted for the 3 input variable, and now you are going to find out what is F2 based on the given equation or function expression. So you are going to identify all the possibilities, right? So now you can see, for example, we will take T2. T2 means it is A dot B dot C. So T2 is here you can see T2, so that is 0 dot 0 dot 0, which is a 0. So you are going to have 0, right? Now you can see something like T1. So this is how you are going to construct a truth table based on the logic diagram that you have given and the Boolean functions that you are going to extract. So this is what we call it as analysis procedure, right? Analysis procedure. Now we'll go to the next part, the important part, that is the circuits for arithmetic operations. So we seen that arithmetic operations, right? So in that arithmetic operations, so these circuits for arithmetic operations have half adder and full adder. So there are 2 concepts here, half adder and full adder, where you can have that binary plus operations on with the help of this particular half adder. So now we'll see this particular half adder. You can see the half adder operation needs 2 binary inputs. So there are 2 binary inputs which are called AND and ADDEND bits, and now with these two input variables, you're going to have two output variables, which is sum and carry. I repeat, half adder is, we'll see in the block diagram as well as the truth table and all that. So the block diagram, this is the block diagram. This is the block diagram, and then you can see here the logic diagram. The logic diagram is, this is the logic diagram. This is the logic diagram, and this is a block diagram. This is a block diagram, and then you can see truth table. So this is a truth table, and then truth table, and finally K-map simplification for sum and carry. So for sum and carry, you are going to have carry and sum. We are going to have a Karnaugh map because there are two inputs. We'll see now how the half adder will work. So half adder means two inputs are there. So two inputs, you can consider it as A, B. So A, B, so possibilities are 2 power 2 minus 1, which is from 0 to 3. So all the possible input operations are written. So each and every one is an operation, right? So second operation, third operation, and fourth operation. So 4 operations are there, which is a combination of 0, 0, and sum will be 0 and carry will be 0. For example, in the last case, you can see 1 plus 1. There you will have sum as 0 and 1 as a carry, right? So for example, you add 1 plus 1, you will get 0 as an output and carry will be forwarded, right? So for example, something like you can say that this is the LSB, least significant bit, and this one you can consider it as MSB. So sum will be in LSB is in sum, and then MSB is carry. So you understood how you got 1 plus 1 is equal to 0 as sum and carry as 1. So this is the MSB and this is the LSB. Now we understood how the truth table is constructed for a half adder. So these are the possible 4 operations that can be performed on half adder. For this particular thing, a block diagram. So how the block diagram looks, there are two input variables. So these two input variables are given as an input, and this is a combination circuit. Okay, half adders, full adders, all comes under a combinational circuit. So now you can see sum and carry, right? So now you see for this particular sum and carry, you are going to have a Karnaugh map, and the Karnaugh map here for sum, you can see here the sum. There are two input variables, so 2 variable Karnaugh map we have written. So 2 variable Karnaugh map, as you can see, 2 variable means 4 cells will be there. All the 4 cells, wherever there is 1, so something like here there is 1 and here there is 1, so 2 1s are there, and the corresponding locations is 0 1 and 1 0. So 0 1 means A 0 and B 1, so this is 1, and then 1 0. So 1 0 means A 1 and B0. So A1 and B0, this is 1. So I have placed all the 1s in the corresponding cells of a Karnaugh map. And now for that particular thing, you can say that this particular 1 doesn't have any adjacent ones to have a group, right? I hope you remember that pair concept and octant concept and quad concept, right? So here you see that there is no adjacent ones to have a group, so this is called isolated ones. So 2 isolated ones are there. From the 2 isolated ones, we have generated an expression something like A B bar. So because this is A and B bar, this is the first one. So this particular thing is represented over here, and this particular one is represented over here. That is A bar B. So when you do this A B bar plus A bar B, that is the XOR operation, which is A exclusive OR of B. So hope you remember the gates that we have discussed. In that you can see this particular operation, that is exclusive OR. So exclusive OR. So we have generated a Karnaugh map for sum, and in the same way we are going to generate a Karnaugh map for carry. And for carry, you can see only one place, that is 1, and the possibilities is 1 and 1, right? A is 1 and B is 1. So under A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1, you placed 1. Did you get it? So this is how carry Karnaugh map is generated, and then carry is AB. Now based on this particular Karnaugh map outputs or the expressions that you have generated, you are going to have a logic diagram. So the particular logic diagram you can see here, that is A and B are input variables, and from the input variables, what is the sum? Sum is A exclusive OR B. So I have represented with a gate which is XOR. So inputs are given as AB to XOR, and you get sum is equal to A bar B plus AB bar, which is A exclusive OR B, right? So this is the gate that we have to use for XOR. And now for the carry, you are going to have C is equal to AB, which is the carry, right? AB. So since you get AB, you are going to draw 2 lines from the corresponding inputs, and you are going to apply AND operator, and this is how C is equal to AB. You have got the logic diagram. Is it clear? This is the whole process of half diagram. This is the block diagram, this is the truth table, this is the logic diagram, these are K-maps, right, for the half adder. Now we see what is full adder. Right. Now full adder is, now we are going to take whenever you are going to add 1 plus 1, something like, for example, if a binary, so here you can see that something like 1 0 1 and 0 1 0. So if you are going to add, or something like 1, so 1 0 1 and 0 1 1. So 1 plus 1 is 0 followed by 1. So here you are getting a carry, right. So that carry has to be added to the value. So 1 plus 1 is 0, again 1. So 0 and again carry is 1, right. So this is how an operation can be done. So with this full adder we see, so here you can see this particular for full adder, right, the circuit for arithmetic operations we are considering the full adder, which means that the carry is also considered. So here we are having 3 inputs, so 3 binary inputs which are AND and addend and carry of the previous bit. So for example, in the example that we have taken, so 1 plus 1 0 and carry will be forward to the next bit. So that is what we call it as carry of the previous bit, and the binary outputs are sum and carry. Same like half adder, the outputs are same, but the input is here you are going to add a third bit. You understood the importance of the third bit, right? So now this is how you are going to have a full adder. And the same block diagram, logic diagram, truth table, K-map simplification of sum and carry are as follows. And you can see here the carry out and sum. Okay, carry out is a output and sum is the sum that you are going to extract. Now you see this is a full adder. So full adder is having 3 inputs, right? So this is a block diagram, right? This is a block diagram where you are having A, B and C in. C in is the previous carry that you are going to add to the existing system, right? This is also a combinational circuit, and now you are going to have 2 outputs, that is sum and output carry. So this is the block diagram of full adder, and now you see the truth table of the full adder, and truth table you can see that are 3 inputs are there, A, B and C in. So there is possibility that 0 to 7, that is 8 possibilities are there, because 2 power 3 possibilities, that are operations. Okay, so 8 operations are there which are ranging from 0 to 7, and from that, for that particular thing you are going to have a sum and carry. So you can see here that is 0 plus 0 plus 0 is sum 0 carry 0, and 0 plus 0 plus 1, that is 1 and 0. So since that doesn't have any carry, you are going to write over there. So now 0 plus 1 plus 0, so 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, so sum is 1 and carry is 0. Now you see here 0 1 1, which means 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is again 0 in the least significant bit and 1 in the most significant bit. That is the reason why you are going to represent 0 in the sum and carry in the, that is most significant bit are placed in Cout. So this is how you are going to construct a truth table. So you can see here 1 plus 1 plus 1, which means 1 plus 1 is 1 0, 1 0 plus 1 is 1 1. So most significant bit and least significant bit both will be 1. This is how you have constructed a full adder, right? So for this particular full adder, now you can see that the that you can see here based on this particular truth table, now you are going to construct a Karnaugh map for sum as well as carry. But how many inputs are there? So how many inputs are there? Because 3 inputs are there, you are going to construct a 3 variable Karnaugh map. So you can see here that is A and B C in, which means C in is a C that is previously generated output that is given as an input to the existing circuit, right? So here you can see that it is 0 and 1, then here 0 0, 0 1, 1 1 and 1 0, as you know that it is a gray code sequence that we follow in constructing the Karnaugh map. Now you can see this particular thing. So here you can see how many ones are there for this particular thing. For sum, if you are going to compare sum, so here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 ones are there. So that particular 4 ones you have copied to the Karnaugh map. So this particular 4 ones you are going to copy to the Karnaugh map. Here you can see that this one is A bar, B bar, C in. So A bar is A bar, B bar, C in. So here this is one, I have placed the first one, and then the second one is A bar, B, C in bar. So this is A bar, C, A bar, B and C in bar. So I placed one here, and the rest 2 ones also I have placed here. So by default, whenever this particular Karnaugh map is given to you, whenever you find this particular ladder kind of thing, the final output will be A exclusive OR of B exclusive OR of C input. Are you getting it? This is the carry. So these three inputs are XORed. This is how you're going to get when a Karnaugh map is designed in this particular ladder kind of thing, like a mountain, right? So that will be as A exclusive OR B exclusive OR C. And now you see out there are only 4 ones, and the corresponding 4 ones you have placed in the Karnaugh map for C carry. Okay, so you have to get the carry also, right? So for that carry 1 1 1 1, so you can have 3 pairs, right? So here one pair, here one pair, and here one pair. So based on that pair, you are going to extract the terms here AB and BC in plus AC in, right? See, this is how the final expression that you are going to get for the full adder. Now for this, you can have a logic diagram, that is for this particular truth table, you can have a sum as well as C out as a logic diagrams. You can see that here sum is the combination of A exclusive OR of B exclusive OR of C in. Otherwise, you can also write it as this particular one is A bar, B bar, C in. So you have taken A bar, B bar, C in as an input that is given to and that particular thing is added to sum. So this is how you are going to finalize the equation. Are you getting it? So this is how you are going to construct it. Right, fine. So hope this is clear how the full adder is done. So now we'll go to the next part. This is called ripple adder. We are going to ripple adder, ripple carry adder, which is also a ripple carry adder, right? So ripple carry adder is like the full adders that are connected in cascade, which means continuously you are going to convert this. For example, if you are going to add 2 binary datas, that is 1 or 0, 1, 1, 0 and 0, 1, 0, 1. If you are going to add this 2 binary bits, you are going to get 1, 1, 0 followed by a carry, and that is 1. This is the final output that you are going to get, right? So for this particular thing, you need 4 full adders where this is A0, A1, A2, A3, right, with carry 1. And here it is B0, B1, B2 and B3. So that is how you are going to construct a 4-bit adder where you are going to add this particular binary strings. That now you understood. So A0 will be 0 and A1 will be 1 and A2 will be 1 and A3 will be 0 as per the given data. And now binary representation. Now B0, so B0 will be 1. So here it is 1 and here it is 0 and here it is 1, here it is 0. And what you are going to get here, the S0, that is the bit that you are going to get here, that is 1, the output bit, right? I got 1 here, right? So 1, and then here also I got 1 and here also I got 0 and here I got 1. Okay, and if there is any carry, then you will get a carry, otherwise there is no carry. For example, in C0 it will be 0. C0 is the initial state, so we will give 0, and then C1 is equal to 0 and C2 is equal to 0 and C3 is the last one which you get 1, and the final output will be 0 as there is no side by any carry, right? So C4 will be 0. So this is how you are going to construct a 4-bit adder, right? So also you can take an example here, that is here these two are the input variables. So he has taken that 1 0 1 1 and 0 0 1 1 as the argand and addend, and then for this particular thing you are going to get a sum and an output carry, and these are the input carry. Okay, so this is the third input which is C in, and this is A and this is B input, and you are going to get sum and carry. So for this 4-bit adder, it is a small diagram just to have a reference, right? And now you see this particular adder and subtractor. We will see what is adder and subtractor later. Now the implementation of a full adder, right? So implementation of a full adder can also be done with implementation of full adder also can be done with 2 half adders and an OR gate. This is how also you can represent a full adder. So you can see a diagram here. That is half adder, the first half adder and the second half adder, and you get the output sum and carry. So for example, something like here you can see the logic diagram that we have generated for half adder is you are going to have A, B, and you are going to have an XOR. Hope you remember it. So XOR. So this is how you are going to get sum, and now from the here you are going to get carry, which is AB. right? So you can see here, this is the general logic circuit for half adder, and this particular half adder is now placed over here. So this particular circuit is going to place here, and this is a sum, and this is a carry, right? So this is how you are going to get the final expression, that is sum is equal to A exclusive or B exclusive or C in, and then C out is equal to C in dot exclusive A exclusive or B. So now you understood how to represent a full adder with two half adders. So this is the first half adder, and this is the second half adder. So you can see that this particular output sum is the second half adder, the output sum, this particular output sum is the exclusive OR of the C in and the output of the first half adder. So this is exclusive OR. This is the first half adder. The first half adder sum is A exclusive OR of B. So this particular A exclusive OR of B is as one input, and then C in is another. See here you can see this one is a C in. So this particular C in is given as an input. So here it is C in, and when you give it to the half adder, you're going to get A exclusive OR B exclusive OR C in, right? So this is how implementation of a full adder with two half adders and one OR gate. This is more important. So with two half adders and one OR gate, you are going to express the full half adder. So here you can see this is OR gate, right? Right. Next. So you see this is a half subtractor. Now we have completed a full adder and half adder, and now we are going to half subtractor and full subtractor. So the half subtractor is also having two inputs. Those are minuend and subrahend, and then the difference and borrow. There in the half adder you are going to get sum and carry, but here it is difference and borrow. So it's the same block diagram, the logic diagram, Karnaugh map, and then difference and borrow. Here you can see this is like 0 minus 0 is 0 and borrow is 0, but 0 minus 1 you are having 1 as difference, and 1 you have to borrow, because 0 and 1 you are going to borrow 1, and you will make it 1 0, which is 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So that is the representation where you will get a difference 1 and borrow 1. This is an important point that you have to note it. And 1 minus 0 is 1 0, and 1 1 0 0. So only this particular portion is a bit logical. Okay. So now this is a half subtractor, and this particular thing you are going to construct a Karnaugh map for the difference and borrow, right? So for the difference, I think here you can see, right, this is for difference and this is for borrow, and here you can see how many difference are there. Two ones are there. So for that particular D, you are going to have two ones in the corresponding A bar B, which is A bar 0, B is 1. So corresponding 1 I have placed here, and the same way this one A B bar, so A B bar I have placed 1. So you can see that this particular two are isolated ones. There are no chances of forming a group. So this particular thing can be written as A bar B plus A B bar, again that is represented as XOR. So this is how you are going to construct for difference, and this is for borrow. So borrow A bar B. So this is the small diagram change that that is there for half adder and full adder. Here you are going to apply NOT for this A. This is the difference of full adder and half adder and half subtractor. So I hope that this is clear. And now coming to full subtractor. Full subtractor, there are bits same like full adder. It is also having 3 inputs, and 3 inputs you can see in the table, that is 0 0 0. So 3 inputs are given and the 2 outputs are there, that is difference and B out, and you can see this particular truth table, and based on this truth table you are going to construct, this is the block diagram, and this is the truth table, and this is a logic diagram that you have represented with the help of this particular thing. So you can see this particular ones are going to be placed in the Karnaugh map, which is 3 variable map. So here you can place all ones, and you are going to get the difference, and with that you are going to have a borrow input, which is the expression that we have solved with the help of this particular truth table, and based on this you are going to have a full subtractor circuit. So here also you can see that this particular thing is a subtractor, and you will get the final output, that is full subtractor circuit, right? And now the last part here, this one is a that we call it as parallel adder or parallel subtractor. So you can have a addition operation as well as a subtraction operation with this particular parallel adder or subtractor. You will have an enable pin here, whenever an enable pin is there, if enable pin is equal to 0, which means that it is going to act as an adder, right? So here you can see that B exclusive OR of 0, which means that B here, B naught is having a exclusive OR with the enable pin, and if it is 0, then it will be acting as an adder, which means that it is considered to be full adders. And if the if the enable pin is 1, then it is like B exclusive OR of 1, which means that negation symbol, that is B bar. B bar means you know that negation, that is minus. So you can see that E is equal to 1. So this particular E is equal to 1 is given as an input, carry input. And now you can see that the A minus B can be done with A and 2's complement of B plus 1, right? So this particular enable pin will make plus 1, and this particular enable pin, if it is 1, then it represents minus B. This is how you are going to have an function A minus B. So this particular parallel adder or subtractor will enable with E. If E is equal to 1, E is equal to 0. So E is equal to 0 means adder. It acts as a full adder. And if E is equal to 1, it acts as a full subtractor. So by this you understood how to construct the combinational circuits. So thank you.